crack. Is that the way to live? I forgot to bring an apple, so I'm kind of sad right now. Kind of sad right now. And I don't know. I think I have like 4 cutters in my house. I think all the cutters in my house. Well, part two, we reviewed the Aladino, Connecticut, and we had a good time with that. I think that cigar was either a 4.5 or a 4.6, or 4.55 or a 4.6. Right around there, I'm pretty sure. I believe I enjoyed that Connecticut Aladino, and it was definitely better than like an average okay Connecticut. So this is a 3-pack, all the same size, so the size is not the variable. So I'm going to review this, but also going to zoom out a little bit. I know it's a different blend, but also just bring out, if somebody was saying, well, I never smoked Aladino, what do you recommend? Of course, if somebody only smokes Connecticut, get the Connecticut. But I digress, though. But in a way, this is just a nice little breakdown of a 3-part series of comparing more of, not saying one over the other, but almost like the characteristics, but also zooming out also which one I like the best or which one I think which is the best blend, regardless of the wrapper. Now, the Vintage Select you would expect to be the best. I'm not sure if it's the most expensive, but it might be. And the Vintage Selection, it seems like the tobacco goes through the cigar after rolling goes through further aging. I think 4 or 5 more years of post-roll aging. Just give me a second right here as we load up the pictures. I need to load up the pictures. Give me a second. We're loading. We're loading. And we're done. Here we go. We got the blend. Ryan, what's up, bro? And we'll see. We'll see. If everybody leaves Richie, that's okay. God never leaves Richie. People are temporary. And people can be great. But if people decide to hate Richie, I forgive them. And we just keep on living life. We have Aladino Vintage Selection. This is not the Elegante, though. It's a Honduran-made cigar. Honduran factory. The wrapper's a Honduran Habano. The binder's a Honduran Corojo. And the fillers are Honduran Corojo. So it's like a double Corojo blend of binder and filler. So in a way, we're going to see how it pushes this. And we're going to find out. But I got a feeling, though, that Sacco eventually is going to return. Maybe Sacco just needed a little break. Richie apologized. Richie called Sacco stupid. Richie apologized. But I wasn't talking about Sacco's. It was just more like I was talking about the question. He asked me, as we were talking about cigars and people were shooting off questions about comparing this to that. And then Sacco said, what about General versus AJ? And I was like, that's a fucking stupid question. But I didn't even mean it like that's just fucking. It's the lounge. It's WWE. Sometimes Richie just says shit on the channel, and but now Sacco's mad at Richie. That's okay. That's okay. We're gonna find out. We're gonna find out. The smell of the foot is funky. Watch out, Sacco. Ryan's coming for the #1 spot. He said, we're just, see, here's the thing, Ryan. Me and Sacco are just doing this for the ratings. This is like a TV show. We created this drama. And then Sacco's going to come back and he's going to make us all pizza. It's just like WWF. All of a sudden Hulk Hogan becomes the bad guy. It's all good. Let's get to it. Soft, gentle heat. Here we go, baby. A lot of character on it. I already like the cigar. And this one, hands down, I enjoyed the Connecticut. And the Connecticut Aladino was not a basic bitch Connecticut. And it was the same size. So we got that going on. However, PG, I agree with you. Off the bat, this Aladino Vintage Selection is a banger. And it's better than the Connecticut. Even though, we're not talking about, I know it's different blends and different wrappers, but I'm just talking about a cigar versus cigar. Forget about, the blend itself, saying, well, which one's better? The Vintage Selection is better than the Connecticut. This is really great. Yeah, you should try this one. I really believe that Aladino, Hondurans make some of the best Corojo. Okay, now Aladino is under JRE. You need to try the Punch the Punch Golden Era. The Punch Golden Era is using very good Corojo tobacco, and I'm trying to think who. PG, do you remember who gave the Corojo tobacco to Punch on that? It was the Aroa family. So the Aroa family sold tobacco to Punch for the Punch Golden Era. That's a great Corojo. We're at a medium plus, but there's a lot of great character to this. In some ways, this blend kind of reminds me a little bit of the Punch Golden Era. However, though, slightly stronger, but that might be due to the size. Exactly. So, yeah, and I think so is this one. However, though, this is fantastic. If you like the Punch Golden Era Honduran Aroa tobacco, you're going to like this Aladino. This Aladino Vintage Selection. It's got some funky to it, twanginess. Definitely feels like some type of Habano, but it's not a basic bitch Habano. Because most Habanos don't have a lot of sweetness. There's a nice, sweet, funky, like funky fermented sweetness. Not exactly like sweet dark fruit like fig, but something else going on. I can't place the dish yet, but it's got enough black pepper spice, but I wouldn't say it's a super spicy cigar. And this cigar might be damn well easy to love. This has got a lot of age on the cigar post-roll. Aging tobacco is not aging cigars. Tobacco is the parts, cigar is the, completion. So this has several years as a cigar aged before they sell it. There is some nuttiness to it. It's quite nice. It's not a roasted peanut. This is not a roasted peanut nut. It is a little more wet, nuts. It's not a dry roasted peanut. See, PG and me could have sophisticated cigar talk like that and only sound half homosexual. It's a banger of a blend. I'm gonna go out on an early release and say this might be the best one of the 3-pack. It's better than the Connecticut, and I really enjoyed the Connecticut. This is a banger. This is a box-worthy cigar. In this Rothschild cigar, I could recommend a box. In this size, I could recommend them. I don't just hand out box-worthy. I think most guys would really like this. If you don't like this cigar, I don't know if you like cigars. Dude, this is a banger, man. I'm going to tell you right now, PG, and I'm not bullshitting, this cigar in this size, with the amount of flavor that it has, and the sophistication flavor it has, I'm gonna be honest. It feels like almost like a higher end Fuente if it was Honduran tobacco. This feels like a higher end Fuente if it was Honduran tobacco. I believe they said after they roll this cigar, and the cigar had tobacco as age, they let it sit for 4 or 5 years post roll. Uh, listen, PG. I just want to focus on this blend right now. It's like, listen, I'm fucking this woman right now, and you want to talk about the other woman I haven't had yet. Let me get this chocha, and tomorrow we can discuss about the next chocha. Okay? So this cigar is a banger. It's a winner. In Rothschild, I mean, it's probably going to be good in Robusto and Toro too. But I'm digging it in this size. It's sophisticated. It's classy. It's medium plus. It's way better than it should be. For $8, it's way better than an $8 cigar should be. This is way better. Honduran cigars get no respect. This cigar is way better than it should be. Great smoke output. Let's forget about the actual tobacco. Let's talk about the construction. Smoke output on both sides. That's what you want. Great draw. Flavor. Long, heavy finish. I'm glad you asked. I'd say PG about 65% darkness. Closer to 70, but not exactly 70. So somewhere between 65 and 70% darkness. It does, when you think about 70% darkness, that's normally like most sun-growns. And Maduro start between 75 and 80% darkness. And most Connecticut's around 50 to 55, 60 on the dark side for Connecticut shade. Where Corojos and Habanos, generally between 60 to 70%, give or take, somewhere between there. Punch, let me tell you something. Punch Rare Corojo, you buy a box of that and let it age for 2 years, you're going to have a gift. I know guys that are into expensive cigars, and they'll buy, back in New York, back in the day, they'll buy Punch Rare Corojo and let them sit for years. Punch cigars age really well. Honduran tobacco does not lose its balls. I've had a 5-year post release. It was a special size, but the same blend, and it had 5 years of time on it from the initial release. It was a special size called the Rare Lapis, and that was up there, maybe top 20 cigar experience in my life, maybe top 15. In hindsight, you buy some brand new Punch Rare Corojo, smoke a few, and let some sit for a year or two. I promise you, you're gonna have some banging cigars. Well, I don't think the Punch Rare Corojo is not a Corojo wrapper, right? So I don't know about that. No, Punch Rare Corojo is fantastic. Hey, what's up, Marco? What's up, brother? Listen, Ryan. Speak your truth, baby. If you're not a fan of Honduran tobacco, that's okay. I'm not gonna get mad. If it's not for you truly, then it's not for you. All I'm telling you, for most people, Honduran cigars can be greatly enjoyed, and maybe you haven't had the right one. I don't know. Maybe you should try this one. Because I'm gonna say this. A lot of Honduran cigars are more on the mid-tier or cheaper side. There's not as many higher luxury Honduran cigars like Nicaraguan or Dominican. And what does that mean? Meaning more sophisticated, more age, and better blending. Although there are some nicer Honduran cigars, though. But, dude, I fuck with Honduran cigars. Listen, try this one. Try this one. Now, if you don't like it, you lost $8, though. Worth a shot. Let me know if you like it. Yeah, Rare Corojo is a good time. But I think they get better. I know they get better with a couple years. I would give a couple years. We're laser. We said we're laser. Yeah, we're laser locked on the chocha. And speaking about chocha, let's get to the show. What in the hell, Sodom and Gomorrah is this? I know what you're thinking. No, it is not deep fried chocha. I mean, it is. It's fried. It's deep fried camel or goat. This is in the Middle East. I think this is goat. This is either goat or camels. I can't exactly say it's cashew, and I don't want to lie because you're saying it. However, though, I am getting nice nuttiness to it, though. But also, PG, I'm trying to focus on the news right now, and people in the Middle East are eating fried goat chocha or testicles. I don't know. And I got a lot going on. And PG, you asking me if I'm tasting nuts right now as goat nuts are being fried makes me want to put on
the end result.
This the song of the day. And you know the song of the day. And it's time. PG wants to talk about nuts. You got it. You got it, PG. All right, back to the show. Thank you, PG. My Lost City Robustos are 2022, so they have some age. Let me tell you something. Punch Rare Corojo is great as is, new, but it could probably be a little more refined, but it's affordable, great cigar. You give some Punch Rare Corojo even 6 months to a year, it's going to get better. You give a Punch Rare Corojo 2 years, you're going to have a banger. You're going to have a banger. I smoked Punch Rare Corojo with 5 years on it, and it not my favorite, but one of my favorite cigar experiences I've ever had. A Punch Rare Corojo with 5 years of age was banging. Banging. And PG, while the song was on, this cigar is in the amazing category. We're not at a godlike, because godlike cigars would have to be godlike from the beginning. But this is better than very good, PG. We're agreeing on this, PG. Was that a gunshot? What was that? I heard like one loud pop. Anyways, long heavy finish. We're at a light medium full. We're about 70% power, and we're about 65 to 70% darkness. It's nutty, some black pepper spice. Such a long heavy finish that's coating the tongue. Sticky. It's got sourdough pungentness to it, but it has some sweet fermented, kind of like a fruit vibe and I can't exactly place it. So it's nutty. It's got some fermented kind of fruit. It's got some black pepper on it. It's got dry cedar because it's going with Habano vibe. It has characteristics you want out of Habano, but more. It's got nuttiness. You don't normally get that. It's got some funky fermented fruit. And it's got plenty of black pepper spice. With a super long heavy finish that's sticking. So, and it's super slow burning. I mean, we're smoking this 20 minutes here and I'm an inch in. That's what she said. But listen, I'll take Amazing Cigars all day for $8. Amazing Cigars, fantastic. Next at 10. Well, in an effort to increase ratings in female football, I don't know what's happening right now, but this is people getting tackled in women's football. Back to this cigar. Anyways, women's football. Somebody's watching it. Next at 10. Massive sinkholes are happening in Mexico. PG. Always a pleasure, PG. You have a great night. And PG, we agree on this. Great construction. PG, this is, would you agree, PG, that this is more sophisticated than it should be? For a mid-tier, I think that the other Aladinos, like the Reserva, are going to be stronger and have more power and darker and more balls. But this is kind of classy and more sophisticated and more about the flavor than strength, although it's a light medium full. But this has got a lot of age on this tobacco, and it's classy. If you were asking for a classy Honduran cigar, check this out. Exactly. Even within the brand. So the Connecticut was great, and it had some nice characteristics to it compared to regular Connecticut, but it felt kind of appropriate. Like, hey, this is a good Connecticut. It was a great time, but didn't feel as classy as this. And that's coming down to the blend and the age on the tobacco. Yeah, it's definitely not exotic. When you think about exotic cigars, it's irreverent. This cigar is not trying to forget about the past. It's not trying to make some Habano that you never had before. For example, like, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but like the Cohiba Macassar is a Connecticut Habano hybrid wrapper, and that blend is not going to feel like a classic Habano. However, though, that is go online, go on Cigar Page, buy a 5-pack of the. I need to come back to. I'm going to buy a 5-pack of those. The Macassar. Forget about Macassar as a Cohiba. If you look at Macassar as a Habano, it does not feel like a regular Habano because it's a Connecticut, Connecticut, I'm not broadleaf, I don't know, but Connecticut hybrid. They hybrided 2 seeds, Connecticut an Habano hybrid seed. And I'm not sure if they grew that in Ecuador or in Connecticut. Vice versa. It was truly, they made a new type of tobacco just for that wrapper, and nobody cared. But it was pretty cool. Well, let me tell you what it is, PG. Best way to describe it. It was great vanilla ice cream with chocolate syrup, but they added some toppings that didn't ruin the sundae. When you think of a classic blend like a Habano or Connecticut Shade or Maduro, it should be simple, like a vanilla sundae with some chocolate syrup. You can't screw that up. Good quality ice cream, syrup, and the appropriate amount. If you want to start adding some stuff to it, it could make it better, but it could make it worse. And this is a fantastic blend. And with the age on it, it's just enough age to give it more class. But you can't just say age is good. If you start aging too much the tobacco, you might lose too much balls. So there's a balance to it. Yeah, the main thing is, PG, we agree that the blend just works. This is a great blend. In a case-by-case basis, right? This is a great blend. I might have smoked one before, because Aladino is one of those brands that I respect, but I don't always smoke all the time. Not a lot of shops carry Aladino, I'll be honest. Sometimes they do, and then sometimes they don't, depending where you're at. In Pennsylvania, and my local shops around here, they really don't have Aladino. But if I go to Cigar International, they got Aladino. So anyways, though, and let me tell you something, PG, Aladino's added 2 or 3 $16 Aladinos. They added some luxury Aladinos, and I haven't tried those yet. And I might. The next trip up there, I'm going to get at least one of those higher-end Aladinos. And I hope it doesn't disappoint, PG. But I trust Aladino at the $8 category. So let's hope that they don't blow it, PG. Next time I go there, I'm going to get that $16 Aladino. It's a special higher-end one. Let's hope it's worth the money. This is slow burning. I'm getting this. I'm 30 minutes in, and I'm an inch and a half in. It's a banger. It's box worthy. It's amazing. It's a long, heavy finish. It's about a light, medium full. So 70% strength, 65 to 70% darkness. Classic Habano flavor, dry, sourdough, pungent, cedar. A good amount of black pepper. But then we get some sweetness, and we get some little bit of funky fermented fruit, and definitely a good amount of nuttiness. And my cigar brother PG interprets it as cashews, and I could honestly say that I'm having a great time with this. And let's get to the news. Next at 10, I don't know what kind of pig this is. I don't know if they've been feeding this pig Rottweilers, but do not fuck with this pig. I don't think a 9mm would drop this pig. In fact, if this thing was charging at you, I'd want at least a 44 Mag. 454 Cazul, definitely. Because a 454 Cazul is a 45 Magnum. And the difference between 45 Magnum and 44 Magnum is massive. And let me explain. 454 Cazul is truly a 45 diameter bullet at a Magnum cartridge. It's almost a super Magnum, because you're talking about, you could push 454 Cazul almost to give or take 2,000 pounds of energy. It's a fucking, almost give or take, well, it's more energy than an M16 20-inch barrel 5.56. It's a nasty cartridge. Now, 44 Magnum could be anywhere from 700 pounds of energy to 1,000. You could push it. You could push it when you get to like 44 Magnum plus B, Buffalo Bore, but if you're not using a Ruger Super Red Hawk or Black Hawk, you're gonna blow up the gun. But let's just give or take. Let's just say safe bet on a 44 Magnum, 900 to 1,000 pounds of energy. It's a lot. But a 44 Magnum is not 44 caliber. A 44 Magnum is a 42.9. I believe it's a 42.9. Don't quote me on that, but I'm positive it's not 44. I believe the 44 Magnum, it comes from the 44 Special. The 44 Special was lower velocity and a shorter casing. But the 44 Special came out during black powder. And just like the 38, back then, they were measured. The bullet wasn't, the name of the cartridge wasn't the bullet diameter, it was the case diameter. So the 38 isn't a 38 caliber. A 38 is a 357, a 35 caliber, a 357 caliber. In a 38 case, because the bullet has to go into a case, and the diameter of the case is bigger than the diameter of the bullet. And so a 44 Magnum, which came from 44 Special originally, they measured the case, which is 44, but the bullet diameter was 42.9. So give or take 43. So a 44 Magnum is really, give or take, about a 43 caliber bullet at Magnum power. But 454 Cazul is a true 45 Magnum. Know your shit. Know your shit. 9mm 35 caliber. 40 caliber is 40 caliber, or 10 millimeter, no difference in diameter. 10 millimeter is 40 caliber as well, but a longer casing, more powder. And now you know 44 Magnum is really a 42.9, a .429 caliber. And now you know. The case is 44. The name is 44 Magnum, but nobody has ever been shot by a 44 Magnum and got hit with a 44 diameter bullet. Now, it could expand it if it's a hollow point, but the actual bullet diameter is 42.9, cocksucker. All right, we're back. I'm having a great time with this. It's a funky cigar, but it's a comfortable cigar, and that's due to the age. If this blend wasn't aged as long as it was post-production, I don't think it would be as good. It would definitely be a lot stronger. But I'm having a great time. And next at 10, well, Donald Trump is declaring a electrical blackout. I don't know, state of emergency. They want to build a bigger grid in Texas. Exactly, Ryan. And you just proved my point. How could a 38 and 357 Magnum be fired out of the same barrel if they're different diameter bullets? They're not. A 38 is a 38 caliber case, a measurement. But the bullet in a 38 case is a 357 diameter bullet. Now, when 357 Magnum came out, it still was the same diameter case, but with just a longer case with a thicker case wall so they could put higher pressure powder. Because the 38 came out during black powder times, late cowboy times. Then they came out with smokeless powder, and they wanted a heavier cartridge to penetrate auto glass and early body armor against the mob. And they came out with 357 Magnum. And initial 357 Magnum loadings were pretty stout. A true 357 Magnum, you should be pushing. A true 357 Magnum, you should be pushing 700 pounds of energy. Now, out of a medium frame revolver, like a K frame, which is really a 38 with a lengthened case, it's gonna beat the shit out of the gun. But the original 357 Magnum, most people know this, was either N frame or an L frame? N frame would be bigger. The point is, though, they were putting the 357 Magnum originally in larger frames from the 44, and it was able to hold up. But as time went on, they started putting 357 in 38K frames, like a Smith & Wesson Model 10, and you can shoot Magnum out of that, but it's going to beat the shit out of the gun. But yeah, we'll get the Schizo. I don't remember. I'm going to be honest. I'm not a big fan of the Schizo line or the cheaper side of the Honduran stuff, like the 7x70, the 8x80, whatever that. I almost forgetting about that whole lineup because I want to. I'm not a crazy fan of those, but I do like Punch as Honduran. I do like Camacho as a Honduran brand. And yeah, definitely though. 357, you said you're shooting 38 Special and 357 Magnum plus P. A 357 Magnum plus P, if you're talking about Underwood or Buffalo Bore, a hard cast, gas checked, solid lead, flat nose bullet, you could be pushing 800 pounds of energy, maybe a little more out of a 6-inch barrel. For a 35 caliber bullet, that's massive. You could drop a lot with a 6-inch barrel with that kind of power. With right placement, you could definitely drop a bear. A Grizzly, you could. I with a Grizzly, I'd go at least to a 44 Magnum. But you know, you got a chance. You definitely got a chance. It depends how angry it is, you know. But a full powered, I'm not talking about a hollow. You don't want hollow points in the woods. Hollow points is for walking threats. Things that crawl like bears and tigers and lions and anything else in the woods, you want solid, either solid copper or solid lead, flat nose. You want stuff that's going to penetrate and not collapse and expand. You got to get to that thick hide, that thick bone. The concentration is penetration, especially in the woods. Next at 10, well, we got, what is this? I can't tell. Oh, yeah, that's Taylor Swift. Apparently they're saying apparently this is Taylor Swift, her dick is showing. But I digress. Next at 10. We got people on a flight getting poisoned by toxic gas. It looks like an episode of Batman. The Joker is poisoning everyone. Toxic fumes were coming into passenger planes, and they were telling people to cover their face. Dude, if you survive this, you're gonna get a lot of money. Bro, I can't stress it enough. It's probably not a good time to fly. Oh yeah, but like I said, the key is okay. The 357 Magnum has plenty of power, my friend, but the bullet is very important as well. If you go with a hollow point with a soft lead bullet with a jacketed copper jacket hollow point, it's not going to have the same penetration as if you have a solid copper core. Like if you're using Underwood penetrator, if you go with a 357 Magnum plus P 6-inch barrel Underwood penetrator, deep penetrator, they make like two versions. Those things look like a screwdriver. Those are solid copper. Those are nasty. Oh yeah. Yeah, 357 would it's 5 or 6 rounds. Sometimes Smith & Wesson 7 or 8. But yeah, I mean, you don't want to be the first 6 rounds. If somebody hates you and they come after just you with a 357 Magnum, you don't. It's gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad. If you get hit center mass with 357 Magnum, maybe if you get to a hospital, but it's not good. 357 Magnum is a serious cartridge. If somebody's coming after you and they got a 44 Magnum or a 454 Kazoo, you all of a sudden you're just gonna hear Amazing Grace and you're in the clouds. It's over. You're not even gonna see that coming. Even 44 Magnum. If somebody hates you when they got a 44 Magnum, it's lights out. It's 44. 40. I mean, most people don't realize because they don't shoot guns at the range. 44 Magnum. If somebody's that serious about you, it's bad news. 44 Magnum. Serious. Very. I mean, all cartridges are serious, of course, right? But there's percentages. You see what I'm saying about? Getting hit with the 9. I think it's something like 60 or 70% of people that get shot with 9mm like survive. I mean, they got wounded. 44 Magnums. What it is though, not a lot of people are getting shot with 44 Magnum because it's very powerful and expensive. So most criminals are not using that. This is a banger cigar. Very delicious. A lot of great flavor. I can't stress it enough. Let's get to next at 10. Well, guys, if you want to order something on Amazon, they got an all new a stomach laying support system. I don't think this is what you think it is, but I guess if you want to support your stomach while laying down, yeah, 50 BMG. A 50 BMG, you're talking about over 12,000 pounds of energy. 9mm, 300 to 400 pounds of energy if you go plus P. 45, 400 to 500, almost 6 if you go plus P. You can get really hot 45, but let's just say around 500 if you're a solid plus P cartridge. 10mm, 600 to 700, give or take, depending on the load. 5.56, 1,200, 1,300 pounds of energy. AK-47, 7.62 by 39, 1,500 pounds of energy. 308, over 2,000, 2,200. 50 BMG, 12,000 pounds of energy. 12,000. Richie, listen. Here's the thing, my friend Ryan. If I don't know, I'm going to tell you I don't know. But if I say I know, I know. 50 BMG is a serious cartridge. At that point, 12,000 pounds of energy, what does it matter? Is the if you get hit by a 50 BMG with 12,000 pounds of energy in the chest, it's gonna look like a bowling ball went through your body, and it'll do that through 6 men. 50 BMG is so not fucking around. 50 BMG is not fucking around. The movies don't do it justice. If somebody's firing 50 BMG at you, well, you're not going to feel it. You're just going to be reincarnated. They should call it the 50 reincarnation. because you're just going to get reincarnated. You're just right to your next life. It's just going to be like, well, time for judgment. Anyways, time to judge this cigar. The cigar, a 4.7. This cigar is going to be one of my favorite Aladinos. It's a 4.7. It's a banger. It's box worthy. It's easy to love. Long, heavy finish. 65 to 70% darkness. 70% strength. This Rothschild size is a banger. I can highly recommend this cigar. I love this blend. This blend, if you want a sophisticated, affordable Honduran cigar, this is a banger. This is a banger. In a way, I don't know what I'm going to call this cigar. This cigar kind of reminds me if you had a Honduran Fuente Rare Pink. If you love Fuente Rare Pink, the Fuente, is it the Rare Pink? It's been so long. It's been over a year since I had a Rare Pink. Yeah, the Rare Pink. If you love the Fuente Rare Pink, and that's a great Dominican cigar with some Nicaraguan tobacco with the Ecuadorian wrapper, try this cigar. I'm not saying it's exactly, but I mean, it kind of reminds me of that kind of vibe, but with Honduran tobacco. If you like the Fuente Rare Pink, try the Aladino. What was the name of this? Vintage Selection. Brown Band Aladino Vintage Selection. It's a banger. I don't just give out a banger. I don't just give out easy to love, and I don't just give out box worthy. And each of those categories are separate. It's got a lot going on for it, plus a 4.7. So it's got a high, amazing cigars I love. This is a lovable cigar, easy to love. And I would also want, it's not just lovable, but I don't know if I'd smoke it again. I could smoke this cigar once a week. This is a banger. I really love this blend. And for such a small cigar, a Rothschild, and I'm already at 50 minutes, and I still got another 5 minutes out of it. It's burning extremely slow. So on that note, I'm going to keep it moving. I'm going to get going. I wish everyone that watched tonight a great night, but also I know most people watch my live later on, or they're at work and they can't comment, and they're whatever they're doing, or they're in a porta-john jerking off. I don't judge, but don't do that. Anyways, listen, guys, there's no cigars in prison. Don't commit felonies. If you do commit a felony, don't get caught. But guess what? I recommend to stop. I recommend if you're living a dangerous life, stop it. Read some books. Start painting. That worked for me. Maybe years ago, I might have gotten, or a guy I know might have gotten jammed up for something he did many times, but finally got jammed up. And then even though that person in that movie beat the case, and it might have been almost 10 years ago, next June. The point is, though, he started painting, focusing more on music, and also focusing on that there's no cigars in prison. So you might beat the case, but you can't keep on beating. So the best way to beat a case is not to catch a case. There's a prison cell for everyone there. Stay out of trouble. Go to the gym, exercise, do some bare knuckle boxing. Stay strong. I'm going to be 42 years old. Eat your prunes. Have a drink once in a while, but limit your alcohol content. If you're going to drive a car, you're only having one drink. Really, keep it to one drink and you won't get in trouble. You could have one drink. Every time you go out, you won't get in trouble. You start drinking 4 or 5 drinks and you're driving, eventually you're going to get in trouble. So watch out. This system wants to fuck you. So you have to prepare and close your own cheeks. Every time you don't drink and drive, you close your cheeks. When you do drink and drive, you're opening your cheeks. And you don't know what's going to try to get in there. The judge, the DA, the cops, the sheriff, the insurance company, the company when you have to blow into to start your car, all these things, the fines, the lawsuits if you hurt somebody, the lawsuits if you damage public or private property, because now your car insurance won't cover it because you committed a crime with your vehicle because you were under the influence of alcohol. Please, just like a bar of gold, know your value. You're more valuable than a brick of gold. Remember that. Remember, you're valuable. And if you're sad or thinking about maybe jumping off a bridge tonight, don't do it. Go smoke a great cigar. Go get laid. Go have a milkshake. Tomorrow's another day. I promise you. You're better off waking up bloated, with your balls drained, and restart your life. You can always restart. But if you're really sad, go get laid and have a milkshake. Tomorrow's another day, and then you can hit the gym and get back on track. But if you're really that sad, just take care of that moment. Go do something nice for yourself. If the world's not treating you nice, treat yourself nice. Right? Like Febreze. So you might be in a room that stinks, and you know the Febreze doesn't really do anything, but it's a nice lie. Oh, spray some Febreze on that shit. Oh, it smells like flowers. It's not flowers, but it's make-believe. And sometimes make-believe will get you to where you can believe. I'll see you around. You stay fresh. No cigars in prison. Eat your prunes. Tens are for camping. And Sacco, Richie, sorry. Come back, baby. I'll change. I swear, baby. Everyone be well. Take care. Later, Ryan.